Mary. Let's welcome Ray.
Thank you, Agnes. Agnes, you can allow chatting also, allow typing, just
That
in
one
case.
I didn't what yeah.
Just in case, because
Okay.
since today is a much smaller group, then there's a lot of things that we can discuss on if they want to lah. If they want to, there's a lot of things that we can discuss. Because when it comes to like all this childhood development thing, I'm sure a lot of people got a lot of questions, right? Yeah, so as long as it's enabled, in case they need to type something, they can. Okay, so everyone, good evening. Today's gonna be English session again, English session. So usually on Fridays, I speak Chinese, and on Tuesdays, I speak English, okay? And because the timing for Friday and Tuesday is different, like Friday is 8:30 and Tuesday is 8. So there will be some people that may think that, oh, this is 8:30 as well, so they may come in late. So that's what I'm expecting. That's why like the turnout is like so little right now. Okay. So today we're gonna talk about the importance of nutrition, and of course, beyond nutrition is a lot of things, okay, about early childhood development, because this is an extremely important topic to talk about, because nowadays there are so many parents which have problematic children, and they don't even know what is the cause. So today I'm gonna like slowly run through some of the issues, because there are like thousands type of different disorders, thousands type of different issues when it comes to development. So today I'm gonna share with you guys like a few that always happen. Okay, in the Chinese saying, 3 years, the first 3 years of a childhood determines the entire adulthood. Yeah, I'm sure you have heard about that. Okay, like san in Chinese is 3岁定八十. Okay, so in English it's the same. If you learn Korean, it's the same as well. Okay, because I speak Korean and Japanese too. Okay, so if you learn Korean, they have the same saying. In fact, in Korean language is the first 4 years. Okay, but it's basically the same thing, because yeah, everyone really emphasize on early childhood. Okay, same come for nutrition, develop, education, upbringing, yeah, environment, family environment, those kind of things. So all of them are very important. Okay. So according to science, okay, just now we were talking about the first 3 years, but according to science, a child's early years begin even before birth when it comes to nutrition. This is extremely important. That's why I always say, if the mom wants to have a baby soon, they better know how to take care of themselves. Otherwise, it's going to be very complicated, and you don't want a complicated pregnancy. Okay. Okay, let me drag this up a bit. Okay, so a child's early years begin before birth when it comes to nutrition. This is according to science. Okay, under nutrition, during the pregnancy or even before the pregnancy can stunt, okay, fetal growth. That means because the fetus, the baby is growing inside the mom. So it is very important that the mom has proper nutrition. Otherwise, when it's stunted growth, usually it will lead to poor brain development. Okay, and usually when it comes to issues like this, it is irreversible. Okay, you cannot reverse issues that are inborn, right? Okay, please, you don't think that, oh, when the baby is born already, then you can start doing things to heal the baby. It doesn't work like that, because this is extremely important. Okay, the first parts of the baby are formed in the mother. Very, very important. Right? So nutrition is one of three major factors that impacts a child development. Of course, genes, okay, our like family genes, and the environment, like I mentioned earlier, environment is also very important, are the other two factors. Okay. So during the first 2 years of age, up to 80%, okay, of the brain growth take place. So how important is it? 80% of the brain. So after that is the remaining 20%. So that's why it is so important. The whatever you feed to the mom, okay, or whatever you feed to the baby during his or her early childhood will determine 80% of this baby's or this person's brain in the future. Okay, so children who suffer from stunted growth, insufficient brain development, they cannot regain this loss. Okay, you cannot heal, cannot fix. Okay, so undernourished children usually have lesser IQ, EQ, reduced capacity, and for physical activities. That means there are a lot of things, even physically, they cannot do. So the brain doesn't only determine how smart the person is or how emotional the person is, but the brain also determine what physical activity this person can do. Do you agree with that? Okay, it's not just IQ, not just how smart you are. It is everything. How you move your fingers, how you move your arms and legs, everything depend on the brain. So this is very important. That is also why some of the kids, usually from not so well-to-do family, they sometimes have issues. Okay, they sometimes have issues, especially of course not so well-to-do families, and also like in very poor nations. Okay, there are some countries now that they are facing a lot of the malnourished children, malnourished mothers, malnourished families. So they usually have a lot of issues, be it from the children or even social economic. Okay, the society as a whole has issues. Okay, so of course nutrition will link to the child's health and academic performance in the later years. Okay, so now we look at the brain development. The early When it comes to the child's early years begin before birth when it comes to nutrition. So you see over here this chart. Okay, the first trimester is over here. Okay, from week 0 to week 13, you see a little bit of the brain, like a pea size kind of thing, pea size. So this is neural tube formation, super duper important, especially folic acid. Do you guys notice every time when someone gets pregnant, the first thing the doctor will tell you, please go and take folic acid. Are you guys aware of that? Are you guys aware of that? Folic acid, so super important, okay? Because with sufficient folic acid, it helps proper neural tube development, neural tube formation. And this is so super important because the formation is in the beginning of the first trimester, okay, the first 3 weeks. So what do I mean by, what do scientists mean by please take your supplements or at least folic acid before you get pregnant? Because by the time you know that you're pregnant, usually it's already more than 2 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and when that happens, sometimes there will be a neural tube malformation, and that will lead to a lot of problems in the child for his or her whole life. So please do not make that mistake. Okay, so a lot of people think, hey, I wait until I get pregnant only I start to take lah. Okay lah. In that case, don't get pregnant, please. You get what I mean? It's so important. Okay, neural tube formation is very important. If the formation is wrong, the entire brain is wrong. Okay. So up to week 10, basic brain region formation will begin. So the brain will have different region. Okay. And then after that, they have neuronal migration. So the different region will migrate, just like, our continents, when in the earth, it was initially all stuck together, as time passed by, there are a lot of like all these earthquakes and stuff. So there are a lot of movement, okay, of land and continents. So that's why now we have like America, Africa, Asia, Australia, and Greenland, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the same. Okay, so there is a neuronal migration that happens as well. Okay, in the starting second trimester. Okay, then after that, there's a structural formation begins. Then synaptic pruning begins. Then after that, the myelinization begins as well. So which is the brain growth, one of the most important part of the brain growth as well lah. Okay, so you see all the way. So preterm is in between like 28 to 37. Then after that, 37 onwards is full term already. Okay, then is good to go. The baby is good to come out. Okay, so that's why it's very important to have a full term baby. Yeah. Okay, so this is a more realistic. Okay, this is a more realistic picture. So in the first 29 days, the 3 days, 52 days, then you can see how the brain start to develop. You see, initially it doesn't have like all this myelin, so it's just like one piece of stuff, and then after that 9 months, then young child, teenager, and then adult. You see how complicated our brain is as an adult. So isn't it very important? Why? How come scientists keep on emphasizing on a child's early years begin before birth? Okay, it's very important. You don't wait until you are pregnant, then only you start to think, oh, what nutrition you should take and other things. If a malformation happen, it happens. Okay, and there's no turning back. Okay, so now let's take a look at pregnancy and preconception. Okay, so now let's take a look at fetal development. Okay, fetal development. So this is how a baby look like. Just now I was showing you how the baby's brain look like, but the baby is also very, very important. Okay, so the first 2 weeks, the early embryo development and implantation, and then week 3 onwards, you start to see a heart. And actually, there's a very big debate going on in US whether that people should go for this, what do you call that, to uh, suddenly forgot the word. Okay, to basically to remove the baby. Okay, to remove the baby at a certain, because you know there are a lot of babies, maybe they come from rape or they are from premarital or teenagers pregnancy, those kind of things. So that's why uh, so there's a very big debate going on in the US right now, whether ladies are allowed to remove the baby or not. Okay, I just suddenly forgotten the word. I've been too tired. Okay, so week 3 you see like there's a heart, then eye, heart. So you see, according to this chart, you see the purple color over here. So period of development when major defects in the bodily structure can occur. So just now in earlier slides, we talk about the brain, but here is actually the other parts of the body. So if in this case, you know, like for example, the central nervous system, even until 16 weeks, okay, even until 16 weeks, there is also a risk of any major defect of the central nervous system that can happen. Okay, then heart is more in the like the earlier stage, arms and legs. So that's why every time when we go to the doctor and we check on like uh, ultrasound, we check the heartbeat of the baby and stuff. Okay, then the teeth, okay, inside the baby, there's actually teeth inside of the baby's jaw, the palate, genitals, ears, and so on and so forth. Okay, then after that period, after the purple period, will be when major functional defects and minor structural defects can occur. So after that, it's a bit safer, but still there is risk. So can you see? So that's why it is so important, okay, to have proper nutrition, take proper care of our body before even we get pregnant. Because a lot of times, by the time we know, okay, that we are pregnant, it could be already second week, third week, you know. So please, okay, when it comes to all this baby, if you don't want any like defects and stuff, please look into proper nutrition, take proper care, you know, those kind of things. Very, very important. Okay, So sufficient nutrient intake and a good nutritional status of the mother are important for optimal development of the fetus. So we want to minimize um, risk of baby defects as much as possible. Yeah, I'm sure some of you, if not all of you over here, are parents. Okay, so if you are parents, then you would know that every time when we go to the gynae to check to do the ultrasound, we really sometimes we can be really worried if the doctor say anything wrong, those kind of things. So every time we go there and check, if the doctor say, "Oh, healthy, very nice, oh, proper development," then we are always very healthy. We are always very thankful that we hear those positive words from the doctors, and we are always very fearful of anything that anything negative that can happen. Okay, so and then excessive weight gain, that means like sudden and very huge amount of weight gain, or excessive weight loss also should be avoided. You don't like suddenly become very thin or suddenly become very fat. It's also very bad for a pregnancy. Okay, so pregnant women are advised, okay, pre-pregnant women, okay, correction over here, pre-pregnant women are advised to take folic acid before conception and also during pregnancy to lower the risk of neural tube defect. I'm going to talk a little bit about neural tube defects after this. Vitamin D supplements, okay, and getting enough sunlight are also recommended during pregnancy to allow optimal bone development of the unborn child, to avoid things like rickets during childhood. So I'm going to talk about rickets as well. Okay. So there will be a lot of information today. Okay. So now let's take a look at neural tube defect. Okay. And how come it is so important to keep on having a proper vitamin B intake. Folic acid is actually vitamin B9. But for your information, vitamin B work together as a complex. Okay, so if you only take B9, sometimes it's not so effective. If you want to take B, take it as a complex. And also B work together with many other vitamins as well. Many other vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, and a lot of things that we put into our body, a lot of nutrients that we put into our body. So don't be like those people. Oh, doctor asked me to take vitamin B9 or folic acid. I'm just going to take vitamin B9. You are gonna miss out a lot of things if you're only taking vitamin B9, because vitamin B9 is the minimum requirement to minimize, not even avoid, to minimize the issue of neural tube defect. Okay, so you see like the neural tube defect over here. So these are some of the uh, examples that you can see here. Some baby are born with the brain not fully developed. Sometimes it's like this, and there are also some babies with, at the back of the baby, you see like something growing out of the baby. Yeah. So these are also partially neurotube defect. Then there are also, you see, these are all malformation. Okay, these are all malformation. Okay, so you can see. So these are part of neurotube defect. So that's why this kind of defect actually happens in early pregnancy. Okay, very, very early pregnancy. And when it happens, there is no turning back. Okay, so this baby will most probably won't live long, and will pass away, will die within a very short time. Okay, on YouTube, if you guys are curious, there are some there are a lot of videos that talk about babies like this. Okay, they don't live long, but a lot of parents will use babies like this to garner some donation, which I think is bad lah. It's not good. I mean, they should have known better when it comes to nutrition. Okay, so learn. If you don't know, learn. So today I'm teaching you something very, very important. Okay, so this is another type of neural tube defect, but this usually happens. I mean, it's usually shown when the child is a bit older. Okay, it can be like maybe the child is like 4 years old, 5 years old. Then only you will start to realize that he's a bit different. Okay. So there's this thing called Chiari malformation, okay, whereby you see this part of the brain, the cerebellum, is uh, a bit coming out. You see, this is like how do I call that? Today I'm very out of words. Maybe I'm just I'm just too tired. Okay, so that is something that bulging out, protruding out from that is a cervical bone over here. So when this thing is bulging out like this, like a hernia, okay, like a hernia. So like a hernia, and it's bulged out through the cervical bone, the child will have very severe headache all the time. So if the child is always complaining they got headache and all this, then it could be a Chiari malformation. So better check the child. So this kind of neurotube defect, it's not so apparent like those just now that are very ugly, very difficult to see. This one you will see it after, okay, when the child is a bit older, because now he knows what is pain. Now he knows what is discomfort, but he may not know that he's different, okay, because he's born with that. But he's just feeling everyday fatigue, pain, and there's a lot of things that he cannot do in compared to like a normal child, then and this will require quite some major surgery to be done to push back this hernia back into the proper location rather than having it stuck in between the cervical bone. Okay, so very, very important. So this is also very unfortunate lah. Okay, very unfortunate because the poor child doesn't know that he has a problem, because when you are different, you don't know that you are different. Do you understand that? You understand that when you're born different, you wouldn't know that how being normal is like. Okay, so this is very unfortunate because they do not know how to express that they are having this problem. Okay. So just now when we talk about vitamin D, especially for mothers lacking vitamin D, nowadays a lot of mothers are having this issue because nowadays a lot of mothers, they seldom go out to get sufficient sunlight. Okay, most mothers are always indoor, whether they are working at home or working in the office. So they do not get ample amount of vitamin D, and they do not take supplement also. So what happens is their entire vitamin D profile in the body is bad. So when they get pregnant, okay, there's a high chance of baby getting bone issues. Okay, so this bone issue, you see, like a normal bone is straight and nice like this, but when the baby is getting rickets, you see, the bones are bent. Okay, so it can be in the thigh area, it can be in the ankle area. So you can see like the baby sometimes, how come like Chinese say pat ji ying, the legs looks very weird, okay, like an eight figure kind of thing. Okay, so this is rickets. Happens a lot when the mom is, first of all, lack of calcium, and secondly, lack of vitamin D, because calcium requires vitamin D to be absorbed and also requires magnesium. Okay, so it has to have a proper balance of these few ingredients. Okay, so that's why if we want to avoid having children with rickets, then mothers should take ample amount of vitamin D or go under the sun a lot. Okay, and even if you go under the sun, you are required to have a good amount of cholesterol in the body to turn uh, cholesterol into vitamin D3. Okay, when you are under the sun. Otherwise, if you are, let's say, on statin drugs, okay, on cholesterol drugs, then most probably you may not have enough cholesterol to be turned into vitamin D3. Okay, understand? Okay, now let's take a look at protein. Okay, protein is also very, very important. Have you ever heard of doctors always tell you, hey, make sure your protein intake is good. Make sure your protein intake is good. Okay, so they have, okay, usually the gynae will tell you that, okay, because it is very important. What does protein do? Okay, over here, growth and repair of new and damaged tissue, because as the baby is growing, definitely inside there are a lot of things going on. Okay, so there are a lot of growth and repair going on all the time. So we want the baby to be as stable, as healthy as possible. And of course, it is also very important in making antibodies for your kid, okay, for their immune system, and hormones and enzyme. Okay, so protein is very, very important. Okay, so please, when you are planning to get pregnant, please make sure that you have enough protein. Very important. And during pregnancy, it is also good to take protein. Okay. So to help avoid iron deficiency, for example, okay, during pregnancy, a healthy, varied, that means when you're eating a something, you don't just eat one thing. Oh, I eat bread every day. I eat Milo and biscuit every day. You know, those are like very, very unhealthy. And even if you're eating something healthy, don't eat the same thing all the time. Okay. So you have a variety. Okay. It's much healthier to have a variety than eating the same thing all the time. Okay, so containing iron-rich food like meat, eggs, beans, nuts, dark green vegetables, those kind of things are very important. And this is what uh, which is very important as well. During pregnancy, supplement containing the retinol form of vitamin A should be minimized. Okay, a lot of typical vitamin in the market. Okay, typical vitamin in the market, especially the vitamin A, are usually in retinol form. Okay, so it's usually they will call it retinol or retinol palmitate. Okay, but usually a good vitamin A would be a mixture between a retinol and beta carotene. Okay, so if you are planning to get pregnant, try to minimize supplements that contain retinol form of vitamin A, because it will cause toxicity to especially to the baby. Okay, liver oil. Okay, cod liver oil. How come when we are taking omega-3, it's always good to take a very pure omega-3 taken from the entire small fish rather than taking from the liver? You think about it. What does our liver do? Okay, I'm going to leave you guys over there with the thinking. What does our liver do? Okay, liver, like animal liver, now those kind of things should be limited as well. Okay, I'm not going to explain too much, but when you guys know what does the liver do, you will know why we should minimize the liver oil. Okay, and liver also contains retinol form of vitamin A. So that is also one of the reasons. Okay, but liver is our organ that helps us filter dirty things, okay, filter toxic. So instead of using vitamin A, the blend of retinol and beta carotene, okay, like for example, the Usana Essentials, that is safe, okay, when you blend it like that. And the use of fish oil derived from small fish, like for example, anchovies, mackerel, small sardines. Why? Because small fish, they do not have a lot of years to absorb toxicity into their body, because the sea today is very toxic. Okay. And they are usually much more packed with omega-3 in compared to like bigger fish with a lot of fats in them. Okay. Because they would be in those bigger fish, you will get more fish fat in comparison to omega-3. So when we are taking fish oil, we are actually essentially taking omega-3, not fish fat. Okay, so if you understand that, then you will understand why a proper fish oil is important. Okay, this is also another very important uh, aspect, important topic when it comes to pregnancy. Okay, so according to science today, there's a very strong relation between the mother's gut microbiome. You know, in the past few 2 months, I've been talking about things like microbiome, our probiotics, bacteria, those kind of thing, right? Do you remember? Do you remember if you came to my sharing? Okay, so the mother's gut microbiome is very, very important, and the baby's brain development. Like for example, there is this molecule called the IL-70A, actually contributes to this thing called autism. Okay, so when we are able to block this molecule, we are effectively lowering the risk of having a child with autism. So that's why the mother's microbiome is so important, because it really is a really important aspect when it comes to blocking these kind of molecules um, that are not supposed to be there. Okay, so women who are pregnant or planning, okay, it's advised to, of course, stop drinking alcohol altogether, and of course smoking. Every talk I'm going to talk about smoking. Smoking sucks. Okay, smoking is going to be really really bad for you, but in the case of pregnancy, do not touch. Okay, especially if you are pregnant. Not even like, oh, I want to take some shandy. Okay, don't do that, please. Any alcohol. Okay, caffeine intake. Some people, oh, I cannot live without my coffee. Okay, can, but please, okay, limit your caffeine intake. Okay, limit your caffeine intake. Like, it is around 2 mugs of instant coffee a day, which is considered quite a lot already. Okay, because some coffee have more caffeine than others, so try to limit. Even tea, tea would be like 3 mugs. Okay, it also have a lot of caffeine, so try to limit. The best thing to drink is water. Okay, drink water. Maybe during that time you minimize on coffee a little bit. Okay. Hey, what happened? Okay, so when just now we talk about alcohol a little bit. Okay, what happens? Okay, when the mom is like, "Oh, I want to drink alcohol. I want my shandy." Okay, okay. So there's this thing called the fetal alcohol syndrome. Okay, mothers drinking alcohol during pregnancy. How to know? Usually this child will be born with like issues like epicanthal fold, then there's a short palpebral fissure. I mean, these are some of the things that you can see. Flat mid face and short nose, thin upper lips. Yeah, I mean, these are all the small things. If you are a doctor, you would know how to see this. Low nasal bridge, this part is very low. Okay, and then minor ear abnormalities. Can you see sometimes the left and right ear a bit different, and then even within the same ear there's a bit of abnormality. So those kind of things. Okay, and then over here in the middle, okay, it's called the filtrum. Can't really see, you know. So those kind of things are fetal alcohol syndrome. This is just a cartoon image. I'm gonna show you a more real image. Okay, so can you see? So this A, B, C, D, E, F. So can you see this is the pilgrim? Okay, the pilgrim. The ears, the eyes is a little bit like that, and then very low nose bridge. Okay, like this girl looks a bit normal, but still you can see that it's a fetal alcohol syndrome. Okay, see, like this. So it's very sad, because these kids, they are born like that. They do not have a choice. Okay, but the mom has a choice. Okay, ah, this is so important. Okay, uh, for ladies lah, okay, especially for ladies. Guys, I try to avoid as well, but for ladies especially, if you want your hormones to be well balanced, okay, to be good and well balanced, especially pregnancy, okay, avoid this bean. Okay, some people really like to eat, especially Chinese women. They like, oh, this one very crunchy, very nice. Yeah, it's really really bad. Okay, yeah, it's really really bad, especially with issues with G6PD, feminism, those kind of thing. So but of course there are more studies that is required to determine if this is actually safe or not for pregnancy, but I would say just avoid it. Okay, do you want to take the risk, especially if you're having a baby, because my mother-in-law, okay, my mother-in-law, when she was pregnant with my wife, okay, only on one little occasion in some Chinese restaurant she took this fawa bean, and when my wife came out, she almost died. She almost died, and they couldn't find out the reason why. But then she remembers she took this. The pregnancy was all okay, until she took this. And luckily there was a Malay lady who donated blood, and my wife managed to get the blood from the Malay lady. Okay, so she survived, and she's today an adult. Okay, but she almost died as a baby. So this one, there's still a lot of science research to determine its safety. But for me, my personal advice: don't risk it. Okay, even if you're not pregnant, avoid it. Avoid this thing. Okay. So this is especially important for families with cats. Okay, families with cats. So who over here have cats in their household? Okay, so do you know that cats are notorious for very, very much all the different type of pathogens, okay, bad bacteria. It's not that because cats are bad, it's because cats, they like to roam out. Okay, they like to go out. If a bird or a mouse is bitten by a cat lah, usually they would die on. Okay, because of the bacteria that are in within the cat. Okay, so toxoplasmosis is actually from this bacteria called Toxoplasma gondii. Okay, Toxoplasma gondii. So Toxoplasma gondii is usually found in the feces of cat. So cats sometimes they would shit around, they would pee around. So their pee or their shit sometimes may contain this. And even if you are going to clean it, you're gonna clean it, but sometimes you will remain a bit of like stain or bacteria that you cannot see, okay, on the floor. And if that happens, if that bacteria happen to get on the mother, especially a pregnant mother, there will be a very, very high chance of miscarriage, stillbirth. That means the baby die in the mom, or damage to the baby's brain or other organs, particularly the eyes. Okay, so if you notice, families from household with cats, sometimes when the baby is born with eye defects and all the brain defect, that is a lot of chance is from Toxoplasma gondii. And Toxoplasma gondii is very, very difficult to get rid of. Okay, they're usually in cats that are roam around outside, because cats, you can't really control them. You can't really control them. As long as your window is open, they go out. You know what I mean? And then maybe at night they come back. So we don't know what they do when they are outside. So they have very high chance of getting all the different type of bacteria. But Toxoplasmosis, Toxoplasma gondii, is one of the main bacteria that they can get in to your household and affect your family. Even if you're not pregnant, okay, you're gonna have some brain related issue, okay, because the Toxoplasma gondii usually affect the person's brain. So like, for example, depression, schizophrenia, suicidal thoughts, and all those things. A lot of things that are related to toxoplasmosis. So if you are really interested about this, please Google this Toxoplasma gondii, toxoplasmosis. I want you to read more about this thing because it's very important. And if you really have a cat, please keep the cat indoor. Okay. Yeah, because otherwise it's really bad. I always emphasize on this to many people's household, but for cat lovers, it's very difficult to tell them things like this. But I think they should learn more. It's very important. And we don't want to have like issues like we don't know what happened. There's suddenly a miscarriage, suddenly a stillbirth, suddenly baby born without eyes and all those things. I've seen a lot of people with this kind of problem. So I always emphasize a lot on toxoplasmosis. Okay. Yeah. I'm very well versed when it comes to bacteria. Okay. When it comes to bacteria. Okay. Men, okay, don't always blame it on the woman. So men also have issues. Okay, excessive alcohol intake will affect the sperm quality. So the sperm will be like, say ha about like dying like that. Okay, men who smoke, okay, smokers have the worst semen quality. So stopping smoking will also reduce the impact of all these passive smoking, second hand, third hand smoke on their partners. Okay, and of course, if you are smoking, okay, if you happen to be smoking and you can't conceive, you stop, then you have a better chance. Okay, it's not that it's good, but you stop it, you have a better chance of, and of course, your general health will be better as well. Obese men will usually have reduced fertility because when a guy is obese, there's usually an increased amount of estrogen hormones in them, which also will contribute to reduced fertility. So aim for a healthy body weight for a better chance. Okay, so very important. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about like some nutrition. Selenium is very important because it is needed in making healthy sperm. Okay, zinc always very important when you go out to the buffet or Japanese restaurant, or even some old guys. You see some old guy, they'll be like, "Hey, you're gonna take some oysters today, yay!" Yeah, because zinc is very important to ensure healthy testosterone levels. So usually, if guys who take zinc a lot, they are usually more sexual, and they usually perform better, and sperm quality is better as well. Okay, long chain omega-3 fatty acids, usually in oily fish, omega-3, any form of supplements also help things like it reduce things like prostaglandins, and which are important for making sperm. Okay, so now let's take a look about this early years shape adulthood thing. In Chinese, they say 3岁定80. Okay, the first 3 years determine the 80 years of the entire adulthood. Okay, so when we take a look at the maternal infant microbiome, so C-section delivery, which means the mom's microbiome, the mother's microbiome, the bacteria from the mother, cannot be passed to the baby. Okay, cannot be passed to the baby. So the baby will have the microbiome from other place, like the glove of the doctor, the environment of the hospital, the skin. Okay, maybe the skin of the mother a little bit. Okay, then they have a higher risk of chronic immune system disorder. You know why some kids, they're like, oh, my kid is having this rash, my kid is having eczema, having this, having that. Usually they are from C-section delivery. And of course, those are the smallest of the issues. There are some autoimmune disorder that are very life-threatening. Okay, if we are talking about like skin rashes, those kind of things, those are not life-threatening, but there are things like childhood SLE, lupus, those kind of things, and the child will live with it forever. It's very, very sad. Okay, so when vagina delivery, so from the mother's birth canal, you remember from my past talk, okay, my past sharing, I talk about vagina birth. So for vagina delivery, so this is actually the entire picture of it. So the baby gets the bacteria from the mother. Okay, and of course they will also get a little bit of bacteria from outside, but then as the baby grow, the bacteria will grow together with the baby. Okay, so that is why it is very important. So a baby from vagina delivery is, of course, normally would be healthier. Okay, so um so skin to skin contact, breastfeeding, vagina delivery, so these are the things that delivers, okay, the microbes from the mother to the baby. Okay, of course, the most will be from vagina delivery, followed by breastfeeding. And usually when it comes to a cesarean, a C-section, the doctor will ask the mom to just carry the baby a little bit so that at least, okay, at very least, this baby will get the skin to skin contact part of the microbiome. Okay, So then the microbiome will colonize the body, okay, in the gastrointestinal, in the dermal, respiratory, and urogenital part of the baby. Okay, very, very important. So we can take a look about at these few different babies. Okay, so this is an example. Baby vaginally born, okay, natural birth, and breastfed. Okay, so 4 days you see the bacteria is like this, and then 4 months very rich, different type of bacteria, and then 12 months the bacteria is like all mature and the baby is healthy. Okay, so this is vaginally born, okay, but bottle fed. That means the mother either couldn't produce milk, or too stressed, or having some problems, or too busy. You know, nowadays a lot of mothers are too busy. You know, they have work to do. They can't pump their milk. They can't commit to it. You know, then of course the baby still have the bacteria from the mother, but then the bacteria will be mixed with other different type of bacteria, so it is still okay, still okay, still looks very healthy. But look at the C-section baby. Oh, look at this. So bacteria is usually the bacteria from the glove of the doctor, from the hospital dirty environment. Okay, then also from like the mother skin a little bit, but then when it comes out, so there's a totally different profile of bacteria. There's a mix of pathogens and stuff, so it's very different. And this poor baby don't even have like properly fed, maybe just C-section plus bottle feed lah. Okay, so it's very different. Okay, so why do I talk about all this bacteria thing? Okay, if you remember the past two sharing that I had, okay, the past two sharing that I had on microbiome, bacteria, okay, microbiome in our body is kind of like the government of the body, okay, like the body. So you imagine if the government is having issue, okay, the government is having issue, of course the entire ecosystem in the body will be having issue as well. Okay, so our immune system is like the cops, the police, the soldier, the fireman, the nurses, doctors of the body, basically the front line. Okay, but it is very much governed by our government. Okay, which is the microbiome in the body. Okay, the microbiome in the body determines what our immune system will do. So imagine if there's no government, no governance, okay, all this immune system will be haywire. They will start attacking different cells in our body. So, for example, when it attacks our thyroid, then we get things like thyroiditis, Hashimoto disease, Graves' disease. When it attacks our bones, then we get things like rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, and so on and so forth. If it attack our skin, we get like psoriasis, vitiligo, eczema. Do you guys know what is vitiligo? Vitiligo is when the immune system attacks the pigment of the skin. So the skin loses color and becomes like just white. So you see this person have white patches on the skin, white patches on the hair, white patches on the skin and everywhere, So this is also because of the microbiome of the body. Okay, lungs, then they will have fibromyalgia, nerve, peripheral neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, those kind of things. Then we have multiple sclerosis, GBS, autism, blood leukemia, lupus, gastrointestinal tract. We have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, those kind of things. So these are all autoimmune disease. There are more than 100 types. Okay, so if the baby's microbiome or if your microbiome is not good in the body, anything can happen anytime. Okay. So of course, these are some of the advantages of breastfeeding. It's easily digested. Baby have greater IQ. My second son now is um, one year plus. Okay, and we are still breastfeeding him. Of course, we add a little bit of formula if he's hungry. Okay, but we are still breastfeeding him. My first child, 1 year at least. Okay, so it's very important to breastfeed. And when we are breastfeeding, the mom's nutrition is very important. If the mom is malnourished, the quality of the breast milk is still low quality. Okay. protection against infection, helps bonding, perfect nutrients for the baby. So nothing beats mother's milk. Okay, you can have say, oh, I have this most nutritious vegetable in the world. No, you cannot beat mother's milk. Okay, so supports baby's growth and development, lower the sudden infant death. That means the baby suddenly around few months suddenly die. Those kind of things. So these are the 448 ml of breast milk provides so many things. 29% of energy, 36% of calcium, so on and so forth. Okay, so mothers who percentage of mothers who start. So this is basically the trend. Okay, of course, some mothers they are still able to continue after 6 months. Okay, so if you can do that, it's really really good. Okay, so these are all the different breastfeeding. So when it comes to children nutrition, nothing beats breast milk. Okay, remember that. And of course, aside from having so much different nutrition, the breast milk also contains so many different things that are not available in formula, aside from the monetary benefit. Okay, of course, when the mom is breastfeeding, you save a lot of money from infant formula. Okay, so infant formula contains things like minerals, vitamins, fats, DHA, blah, blah, blah. But breast milk contains antibody from the mother. Like, for example, if the mother has a COVID antibody, then the baby gets it as well. Okay, of course, flu antibody, fever antibody, so on and so forth. Hormones, antiviruses, anti-allergies, anti-parasites, growth factors. So important. Growth factors you cannot find in formula milk. Enzymes, okay? Enzymes from the mom. Okay, so these are the things that are from the breast milk where you cannot find in formula. Some formula may add a little bit of probiotics, okay? But you can't beat mom's milk, okay? So of course, when you're breastfeeding, your nutrition intake is super important. So if you are taking rubbish, your breast milk is rubbish. Okay, so don't think that, oh, I take rubbish, but my breast milk is so high quality. No, if you take McDonald's, your breast milk is McDonald's quality. Okay, if you take Coca-Cola, your breast milk is Coca-Cola. Okay, so eggs are the perfect source that for the body because it is a source of vitamin D as well. Okay, of course, low-fat dairy products and those kind of things, liquid and ensure proper milk production if you are well hydrated. Lean meats, they also have a lot of all these nutrients. Seasonal fruits, leafy green vegetables, whole grains. Okay, all these are rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, those kind of things. Legumes, all these are very important. Okay. But of course, legumes may cause gas. Okay, the mom may fart more, but it's still good. Okay, sometimes the fart is from the microbiome. Okay, from the microbiome in eating all these legume stuff like your carrots and stuff. Okay, so breastfeeding by mothers following a nutrition will lead to fewer and less severe cases among their children if they have like diarrhea, ear infection, bacterial meningitis. Okay, like the brain suddenly become inflamed. Okay, inflammation of the brain. Better nourished children will also have better ability to fight against infection. Okay, so they get sick less, and even if they get sick, they recover very very fast. Okay, iron is also vital component of the brain tissue of the children. Iron deficiency makes the nerve impulse move slower, so it will cause permanent damage to the child's brain, especially in the first 2 years in his or her life. So iron deficiency is linked to behavioral changes and delayed psychomotor developments. Some kid, oh, how come my kid until this age still cannot walk? This kind of thing. That could be iron deficiency. Okay. So undernutrition also has proven to decrease child's activity level, social interaction, curiosity, and cognitive functioning. So both my kids, they have their own YouTube channels. They are not very old. My first kid is actually turning 4 this year, and he can speak very well already. So and he can socialize. That is very important. So nutrition, I noticed that nutrition makes a lot of difference when it comes to children socializing with people. This is very important. So he knows how to express himself. He knows how to socialize. Okay. So if children do not eat the right amount of macronutrients, like for example, protein, fats, carbohydrate, micronutrients, like for example, vitamin A, iodine, zinc, iron, they will become ill, okay, and or have delayed mental motor development, and sometimes they could die if they are more nourished, okay. So optimal nutrition and the correlationship with nutritional deficiency in the early years are really significant. As beyond 2 years of age, the reversal will be impossible. Okay, so that's why they say it is very important to be properly nourished before 2 or 3 years old. Okay, during the early childhood or even before pregnancy. Okay, understand? Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about our this is called the Usanimals. Usanimals is basically like cell essentials. You know, cell essential is our Usana version of multivitamins, but this is the kids version of multivitamins. Okay, uh, it says over here 2 years and above, and but sometimes like let's say for children below 2, for my children, okay, this is not a professional advice. Okay, for my children, I actually cut it into small pieces and let him eat as soon as he is able to uh, take solid foods. Okay, I just cut into small pieces and mix with the food that my children are taking. Okay, of course, my older child, he can just take the whole thing now lah. Okay, so one tablet for children once daily, 2 to 9. It's fine if you give 2 as well. It doesn't matter. Okay, 9 to 13 years usually is 2 lah after meal. Okay, usually it's after meal. So it contains so many different type of nutrients. Okay, uh, you notice even vitamin A is under beta carotene. Okay, so use animals are actually formulated to deliver the nutritional support for 2 to 12. Okay, if younger, you can put in their milk, or you can you can pounce it and put in their food. It's fine. Okay, because it's just nutrition. It's not like drugs and stuff. Okay, so it supports healthy immune function, provide a full array of vitamin B plus choline to support a healthy brain development and function. So choline is also very important. If you notice a lot of all these milk companies, when they do advertisement, they're like, oh, we have this choline, we have DHA, EPA, and then they show you a lot of like all this animation of the brain neurons firing around like pew 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 like laser like that. It's actually all this is by the benefits of choline, DHA, EPA, omega-3 fatty acids, those kind of things. Okay, but they just show it in a more marketing manner rather than science. Okay, of course, vitamin D, calcium, and magnesium will help support strong bones and healthy teeth. Very important. Okay, iron, thiamine, and B12 supports energy. And from Usana, we have the whole range of vitamin B complex in it. Okay, so we also provide cellular protection with fruit powders and the antioxidants phytonutrients complex. So basically, aside from just vitamins and minerals, we also provide antioxidants, very important. Okay, vitamin A, we give beta carotene. So beta carotene is actually converted into vitamin A only when the body is needed. So there will be no toxicity of the liver. Okay, if you take retinol and if it's overdosed, then the body sometimes get like a minor toxicity. Okay, so for the child, it's the same. So we give beta carotene so that the child's body can convert as needed. Okay, so of course, vitamin A has a lot of benefits. It helps with maintenance of eye, skin, and proper function of the immune system, and also antioxidant protection. B, we give the whole complex. I can tell you in the market, you can hardly find any children supplement with a whole complex array of vitamin B. Okay. How to know if a vitamin B is a full complex? There are 8 types of vitamin B, okay, in the complex. Okay. So the first range, we look at B1, B2, and B3. This is more for the brain. Okay, B1 and B2 and B3 is more for the brain and for the energy of the child. B6, B9, and B12 is more for the nerve development. Okay, and of course, the nervous system and also the brain. B5 and B7 is like for fingernails, hair, and their DNA, So that's how you look at the eight complex. 1, 2, 3 is one group, 6, 9, 12 is another group, 5 and 7 is a separate group. Okay, so a full range of complex. I can almost assure you, you cannot find this in most children's supplement, most, okay, 99.9%. If you can find, it's really special, okay. Vitamin C, we use ascorbic acid plus sodium ascorbate. Okay, so that it is more absorbable and it can also last longer, and it is also much more gentle to the stomach of the child, because sometimes children, they just like to take supplement and without eating, and if certain vitamin C in just ascorbic acid form may cause stomach discomfort. Okay, so that's why we mix it with sodium ascorbate. So in case they just want to like grab it and eat, and they have a sensitive stomach, it won't affect their stomach. Okay. So this is very important to maintain good health. Okay. And all the important functions like synthesis of collagen, super important. Even as a child, collagen is already important, especially for their body structure, like the protein, healthy skin, muscles, teeth, bones, and blood vessel. Okay, so collagen is not just for your face to look beautiful. Okay, it's also for the children's development. Okay, and vitamin C is also linked to healthy immune function, so that the white blood cells are also strengthened, and the immune system won't simply attack your own cells. Okay. Okay, vitamin D is also super crucial over here. Okay, of course, our body can make vitamin D if your kids are under the sun all the time. Okay, but nowadays a lot of kids are not under the sun; they are in front of their handphone or their computers or their iPads. So not good. Okay, so sunshine is very important. Okay, it's also play a role in supporting bone health, maintain immune function, body absorb calcium and phosphorus, and of course activate magnesium as well. Okay, and of course, when we talk about mental health, do you know that vitamin D is actually a happy supplement? Okay. So because vitamin D has a lot of effects in a child's brain, and also in the production of like things like serotonin, melatonin, endorphins, those kind of things. Okay. So it's very important for their mental health, especially early childhood. So nowadays, a lot of children, they are having mental issues even at a very early stage, because of maybe the parents are busy, or maybe a lot of cell phone, a lot of information coming from the internet, so they have things issues like anxiety issue also, like for example, nowadays we have this syndrome called the COVID babies, where a lot of children are at home, locked up for almost 1 or 2 years, and they are not really exposed to socializing with people. So they have this thing called the social anxiety. So when you have ample amount of vitamin D, it really helps their mental health as well. So very, very important. Okay. Vitamin E we give in the form of D-alpha tocopherol acetate and also mixed tocopherols. So this is extremely powerful. It protects against things like free radical damage, and then it's also key to their cellular health, helps out with their immunity and to support their immune function. The kids' eye health also requires ACE. Okay, so that's why I always put ACE, very important. Okay. Calcium, we derived it from milk calcium. Okay, growing bones need calcium, and it's most plentiful minerals in the body that can be stored in the bone. Okay, and calcium is of course always tightly regulated lah. Okay, when we have adequate calcium and adequate vitamin D, so physical activity will be a lot better. Okay, and this combination help healthy development of their bones and teeth as well. So calcium, you can get a lot of calcium in their diet, okay? But milk calcium in Usanimals, because milk calcium really help with the kids' skeletal health, like teeth and bones and stuff. Okay, magnesium. in this case, we use magnesium carbonate. Okay, so this is also a cofactor, a helper to activate more than 300 different enzymes in the body. Okay, so when we do that, we get a healthy metabolism and energy of the children. Children have a lot of energy and they need to use a lot of energy as well. Okay, proper development of bones and teeth, tissue formation for their organs, brains and stuff, muscle and nerve function. So magnesium is very important. Iodine. So iodine, sometimes when we talk about iodine, oh, this is an additive to table salt, but it is also an essential trace minerals for the child's most important gland, okay, the thyroid, because thyroid provides energy, okay, and heat into the body. So iodine is very important, and we want to have a child that have proper thyroid function. Okay, so thyroid iodine will support normal growth and development by helping the thyroid gland do its job, okay, which is releasing the hormones that are important for healthy brains development, protein synthesis, metabolic function, and enzymatic activities. Okay, very important. Zinc is from zinc yeast. Okay, zinc is also a necessary element for normal growth and development. Zinc is also central for supporting healthy eyes, metabolism, skin, connective tissue. That's why a lot of eye supplement will also contain zinc. Okay, so zinc also support immune function, DNA formation, DNA repair, and like magnesium, it is also a cofactor that catalysts for around 300 different enzymes in the body. Okay. Now, of course, aside from all those, our kid will also get an array of all the other essential minerals like selenium, copper, chromium, molybdenum, and with Usanimals. And also, like for example, inositol. Okay, inositol is also in our Usanimals. It counters childhood anxiety. Do you notice a lot of children nowadays, when you talk to them, hey, if you're adult, if you talk to them, sometimes they don't even respond to you. But if a child do not have childhood anxiety, those kind of things, they usually respond very well and they can communicate very well as well. So it's very important. Okay, so all these mighty minerals, okay, that it will work with vitamins, fruit-based phytonutrients to build all the foundation of nutrition needed for proper growth and development. So they will set them to be healthy, okay, for a lifetime. Is so important. Okay, so these are the references. So in order to present to you just a few things, a few pages of things, I have to really read through a lot of things for you guys. So those are the references. So anything you can ask me now. So if there's any question today, since it's a small group, we can keep it very simple and relaxing. Anyone? Mr. Leong?
Yeah, so I think thanks, Ray, for the very, you say, short, I think very important, okay, I think very comprehensive about this, the childhood, this development from the very beginning of the parents, okay, starting from where we want to have child, the cow, understand and they know how. So due to the cow nutritious requirements, okay. So I think it's a very good, informative, and also I think knowledgeable session on Ray. So I believe now the audience also can benefit from here. So I think it's open for this discussion, and also any question that you would like to ask from audience. You can open your mic. Also, can you type on the you're not the chat room? Okay. So not necessarily limiting to this today topic. I think Ray also can answer you what the question that you might have. Okay, that you think you want to have answer for that.
Yeah, you can
so
type.
Open for. Yeah, I can type also.
Yeah, just now I was out of word. The word that I wanted to say, where the ladies is removing the child, is called abortion. I was so tired, and I couldn't think, because I just ate. And then I came up. So today I feel a little bit of tongue twist. that kind of feeling. Yeah, so America is having a very huge issue with abortion at the moment, a huge debate. Okay, anything you wanna ask? Can be anything. Can be about children.
Yeah, can be any your surrounding, the current you're facing, some maybe some health issue, okay, or some concern about the supplement. Okay, also you can ask.
Now you guys understand the importance of why doctor keep asking you to take folic acid before pregnancy, please.
But of course, I believe also, I've been go along with my wife also. I mean, I also know that the wife is people sick. I mean, the doctor also a wife taking folic acid, but there's only folic acid, but not other thing. So, but I think through this today's sharing, we understand that it's not only folic acid. I think the whole complex, the whole nutritious, okay, they require by for the proper growing of the children, of the child. Okay.
Okay. If
All right, I would like to ask. I'm doing kefir now, so I know that kefir do have certain percent of spirit. It's a fermented drink. So would that be suitable for pregnant lady or even baby?
It's suitable.
Yeah.
For some reason, kefir is suitable.
Would that be because if I had and my husband had, we had rash. And how about baby and even pregnant?
I'm not so sure how much alcohol you have in your kefir. Actually, most kefir, they don't really have a lot of alcohol, and it's like it's so safe that even Malays can take. That's all I can say lah. It's really okay when kefir is okay. My kids
unless you grow it until maybe too many days.
Yeah, maybe too many days.
Yeah, there of course you're forming the very strong alcohol base. If you follow maybe I think 2 or 3 days, I think you should not feel the kind of alcohol taste.
Okay. So because someone say that, okay, no, because it contains some spirit.
It's not really spirits lah. It's just like the byproduct lah, the byproduct of it. But it's really, really, really small. Like 0.0 something percent usually. So if
before any fermentation, I'm sure
any fermentation.
Yeah. Even you take kimchi, I mean, you're talking about any fermentation process, you will find they call so-called alcoholic, the kind of contain a byproduct.
I mean, you usually lah, to be safe lah, you want to feed the baby a little bit of kefir only after 12 months lah. Because usually 12 months, most of the things will be more safe already. You get what I mean?
After 12 months of age.
Yeah, after 12 months of age. Even a lot of things like supplements, those kind of things, they usually put there 12 months.
Yeah.
Kefir is very safe. Kefir is very safe.
How about, heavy metal in kids, very early childhood?
How come got heavy metal? Gotta know how come first.
Yeah, that is a mystery.
Cannot be mystery one. It can be from the toys. Actually, 2 weeks ago, Helen was asking me that she has a customer with a child with very heavy metal, high mercury and high other heavy metal as well. I asked only 2 things. First, the ceiling of the house. Okay, the ceiling of the house. What kind of ceiling that this house is using? Is it some old house? Is this some old house with lead ceiling? Could it be a toy from don't know what country, okay, that this child is playing that contains a lot of heavy metal.
I know this child because someone related to me, and it's very high mercury in the cadmium, even lead, even, and the environment is quite good in the sense that they have two siblings having kids together, and one is growing up normally. They come in a big bungalow, but divided into two, like semi-detached. One is normal, the other one
Old bungalow?
No, they got a block in Bukit Tajam, where they built. I know that but I've been to the place. We don't know what happened. But the home, the dad was a mechanic, repair a lot of bicycle.
Cool.
But I think he didn't bring the grandpa. He didn't bring a lot of work back home, but only some old parts here and there.
That could be the reason.
I'm not quite sure, but the parents are professionals.
But then the grandpa, his old bicycle and stuff, where does he put?
But no, just like sometimes one piece or two pieces only. It's not.
And the grandpa always carry which child?
No, they are not close at all. The grandpa are not a touchy and huggy type of person. So
because got to find out the source of the heavy metal first. Otherwise, there's nothing much they can do, and the child will have problems.
I heard that some adults, I know some adults, they have very, very severe heavy metal in their brain.
Yeah.
Then I'm not quite sure they didn't have child yet, but I understand that one, they got so severe that even the head they can say is abnormal. But I'm talking about these two parents, they are quite normal. I'm not quite sure, is it from work or is it from Chinese medication or anything? It's so severe that I don't know how to cope. I don't know how to.
Is the child normal?
The child, I think 8 years old now, is so severe, the autism and hyperactive. I think they approached Helen, I think this child. I saw the report, I saw, wow, this, they test, the lab test for the report.
Autism is too late already. Cannot do much, too late already.
So how to, if we say, you cannot say detox, you cannot say.
You can. I can, you see, when it comes from the nutritional point of view, how can we chelate heavy metal from the body and the brain? Okay. Parsley, parsley, yimsai.
Parsley, okay.
Do you know why Chinese people cook fish with parsley?
Is yimsai.
Yeah,
yimsai is coriander, is it?
Yimsai chong now, parsley.
Okay. Parsley. Okay, parsley.
So
not the English one, or it's a Chinese one.
Chinese parsley.
Yeah, so, Chinese parsley.
So parsley helps chelate our blood from heavy metal. Okay. But the problem with parsley, it cannot reach the brain. So do you know how we can make use of parsley chelation reaching the brain? Profile will know. The grapeseed extract. Parsley plus grapeseed extract. The grapeseed extract, 4 a day. 4.
4 a day, okay.
4 a day.
The grape seed, sometimes we eat grapes. I choose to have seeds.
You gotta have like 200-300 seeds to not even equal to 1.
Okay, I have a question. I preserve a lot of dry raisin by myself. It's organic, and I put into kefir. It tastes so good, and it say like, okay, I fermented for 2 days. I put in the kefir, and then I eat the raisin, which is is fermented as well. But it's still very sweet, and I eat the
very good.
I eat the seed as well. It means that they can do that. like this, right? For a child, because
yeah. You can.
Parsley is 不是那个香菜 right? It's not coriander,
香
right?
菜呀，对，香菜，香菜。
The one that Chinese people put in the fish.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so it's 芫荽 parsley
芫
is
荽，
called
对对对，芫荽，对对，是芫荽，
芫荽来的。
Chinese parsley.
是芫荽，芫荽 ，Chinese call 芫荽。
Parsley will chelate. So you want to know this word called chelation. 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 So chelation is a process of removing heavy metal and mercury from the blood.
Okay.
So parsley plus grapeseed extract is a very strong chelation.
So would that be, this is just hypothetical, the heavy metal coming from the parents?
Can be a lot of reasons. You know, just now when I talk about autism, I talk about this ILPA thing. You know that. So if let's say the mother, okay, or the father do not have proper microbiome in their body, they can contribute to the risk of autism as well. So microbiome is super important.
Yeah.
Like for families that take kefir, you will not have those issues.
Like what's the comparison of kombucha, kefir?
Okay, what kombucha has the least probiotic, but it tastes pretty nice, okay, because it is a sweetened tea. You know what I mean? So kombucha usually tastes very nice, but it has the least profile of probiotic, followed by water kefir. Okay, water kefir will have more probiotic than kombucha, and the strongest will be milk kefir, because milk kefir has the proper environment for the bacteria to grow.
And the reason how to avoid like contamination, because nobody would
No, don't worry about contamination.
I know that you mentioned, but I still a little bit concerned, because if nobody put it best at room temperature, right?
No, it's okay, right? You can.
If you put in the fridge, that means the rate of growing is so slow.
But make sure you have fully fermented that milk before you put in the fridge. Otherwise, part of the milk becomes pathogen.
Pathogen.
It becomes bad bacteria.
Because I joined a group, they said that's still okay.
It's still okay, but you want to avoid the risk. 24 hours is safe.
Sorry?
24 hours before putting in the fridge.
Yeah.
To avoid any spoiled milk.
But it depends on temperature, right? Because
depends on temperature. Malaysia, 12 hours can.
Yeah.
Australia or New Zealand, US, those maybe 24 hours. Malaysia is faster. And you know the type of milk also determine the quality of the kefir.
I find that the fat, very free range, the full fat, is so fatty.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't know, it's so slow, the rate of growing.
That depends on your grain. No? That depends on your grain.
Right.
Yeah. You learn a lot, all this kefir making stuff.
Interesting. But I think for this child, you know how. So the parent will go to
autism already too late.
So the parents, I think the next step, the parents should have their own test as well for the.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, could be some incompatibility. Could be also microbiome issue.
What do you say that is? But is it related to heavy metal or just incompatibility?
Very hard to say, because unless we see the whatever report they have, I cannot guess one. Very hard to say. There can be a lot of reasons. Can be blood incompatibility. Can be heavy metal in the household, but it won't be heavy metal from the parents. That cannot happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it won't be.
Okay.
because the mother's environment is very sterile.
And he wouldn't go to the womb?
Most probably won't.
Pass from the womb?
Most probably won't.
From blood?
Most probably won't lah. But it could be many reasons.
Okay.
Like let's say most probably means 95% won't. Maybe there is a 5% chance. We don't know. Really, we don't know. Yeah, there are not enough cases to show this kind of problems. Sad lah. If got autism, very sad.
I find that colander mostly coming from Thailand. What do you think of the method of culture in Thailand? Because a lot of
controversies.
So how to comment that,
Very difficult. Usually I would get organic.
Yeah, you plant your own?
Parsley, I didn't lah. I didn't plant my own parsley. I have a lot of vegetables.
Thank you.
No problem. Any more question? Okay, if no question, then we can take a rest. Hopefully you guys learn something.
Yes. So I think anyone have any more question? If not, we will end this session. So Ray have a good rest.
Yeah, I didn't rest enough.
Yeah. So to take care, I would like to thank Ray, okay, and for the very we call that informative and also knowledgeable, and give us a lot of insight about this the childhood, this called this development, especially for early childhood development or the nutrition aspect. So I hope everybody can share this thing with a friend or wherever. Okay. So we'll have to see you next month. Okay. We're going to join us. Tell more your friend. I think we definitely would like more of you help us to spread the news. So more people will be able to listen to this this remarkable this knowledge about health. So I think not only yourself, so spread this around. So when you get the link, please help us to spread around, so get more people can join us. So thanks, Ray, and also thanks everybody here to wait to stay until here. So thank you and have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.